I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and my dad never made more than $20,000 a year.
The first rule in investment is don't lose. And the second rule in investment is don't forget the first rule, and that's...
This thing's impossible. I can do it.
No, you can't. No one can. My answer to you is, yes, you do. But you have to believe it.
In the early 1990s, Howard Schultz, the visionary behind Starbucks, was deep in debt and struggling to keep his dream alive. Growing up in a poor neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, Howard faced financial hardships from an early age. When he decided to start his own coffee shop, he borrowed heavily, sinking further into debt. But what happened next transformed his life and turned him into a billionaire. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth, just like Howard did. For many people, getting out of debt can seem like an impossible task. However, if you concentrate on paying more than just the minimum monthly payment, you might find it more manageable than you think. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. The key is to use debt snowball method and wealth snowball method. This approach creates a momentum, similar to a snowball rolling down a hill and gaining size and speed. This straightforward yet powerful strategy can help you overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. This is how you overcome debt and start compounding your wealth, setting yourself on a path to financial freedom. And in this video, we will cover everything you need to know about overcoming your debt and to start compounding your wealth. So make sure to watch the video till the end to fully understand this financial strategy, and also subscribe to the channel. All right, now, let's get started. There is a famous saying, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." This proverb perfectly captures the essence of the debt snowball method. Each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to financial freedom. The first, most effective method to clear debt is known as the debt snowball. This technique has helped many people transform their financial situation, and it can work for you too. First, let's talk about building a debt snowball. Imagine you have 5 debts that add up to $1,000 a month. You decide to tackle these debts head-on. As you pay off one of those debts, your total monthly payment reduces to $800. Now here is the important aspect to keep in mind. Instead of enjoying that extra $200, you keep paying $1,000 each month towards your remaining debts. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. By continuously throwing the same amount of money at your debt repayment, you speed up the process and pay off your debts much more quickly. Think of it this way. Every time you get a raise, a bonus, or an unexpected windfall, you throw that money at your debt. This approach means you're making more than the minimum payments, which helps you eliminate debt faster. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. The more you pay, the quicker your debt shrinks. Many people have successfully used the debt snowball method to get out of debt. Take Dave Ramsey, for example, who has popularized this method and shown countless individuals the path to financial freedom. It's important to remember that this process can take a few years. It's not a quick fix, and it's definitely not something you can achieve in just a few weeks or months. To make this method even more effective, you can implement a few additional strategies. For example, you can also look into consolidating your debts to get a lower interest rate, which can save you money in the long run. Now, what happens once you're out of debt? The next step in the journey to financial freedom is just as crucial. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. You build a wealth snowball. Once you've successfully paid off your debts, you might find yourself in a bit of a dilemma. Many people who manage to get out of debt struggle to stay out of debt. It's like a cycle. They're not sure what to do with their newfound financial freedom and often end up spending recklessly again. It's kind of like losing weight only to gain it back because old habits creep in. This is where the concept of the wealth snowball comes into play. Instead of falling back into old patterns, you can take control of your financial future. Let's break it down. For instance, you've been paying $1,000 a month to tackle your debts. Now that your debts are fully paid off, you have a choice. Instead of spending that $1,000, you can start saving it for the future. You can put that money towards a retirement account, save for a house, or even for your children's education. The key is to keep the momentum going. To start building your wealth snowball, you need to sock away that $1,000 every month into an investment or retirement account. Why a retirement account? Because they often come with tax advantages, making your money work harder for you. But if that's not an option, an investment account is a great alternative where your money can grow and compound over time. This compounding effect is what we call a wealth snowball. It's similar to the debt snowball, but instead of reducing what you owe, you're increasing what you own. And to maximize your wealth snowball, cut back on unnecessary recurring expenses. This means scrutinizing your monthly budget and finding areas where you can save more. Maybe it's that gym membership you never use or the subscription services you've forgotten about. Every little bit counts. This is how to overcome debt by being mindful of your spending and making conscious choices. And remember, you don't need to be rich to start. Even if you can only contribute $200 or $10 a month, every bit helps. The important thing is to be consistent. Over time, those small contributions will grow and compound, building a substantial wealth snowball. Look at Warren Buffett, for example. He didn't start with a fortune. He began investing small amounts of money, and through the power of compounding, he built one of the largest fortunes in the world. As he famously said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." By continuously learning and making smart financial decisions, you too can overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. Moving forward to make sure you're maximizing your savings and investments, there's another crucial step: cut back on unnecessary expenses. One of the biggest areas where you can probably contribute to your wealth without even realizing it is by cutting back on subscriptions and recurring monthly expenses. Nowadays, it seems like everything comes with a subscription. From Netflix to Microsoft Office, these small monthly fees can really add up. While each individual subscription might not seem like a big deal, together they can make a significant dent in your budget. Think about it. If you have a few subscriptions that each cost $10 or $15 a month, that's easily $50 or more every month that could be going towards your wealth snowball. This is how to overcome debt by being mindful of where your money is going. By cutting back on just one or two subscriptions, you can redirect that money into your savings or investment accounts, helping your wealth snowball grow even faster. What we encourage people to do is to keep a close eye on these recurring monthly expenses because they act like an anchor, dragging you down and preventing you from increasing the gap between your earnings and your spending. To get practical, take a moment to review your bank statements and credit card bills. List all your subscriptions and recurring payments. You might be surprised at how many you have. Then, ask yourself if you really need each one. Maybe you signed up for a streaming service that you barely use, or you're still paying for a gym membership even though you haven't gone in months. Cutting these out can free up significant cash. For example, consider the story of Mark Cuban, the billionaire entrepreneur and owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Cuban is known for his frugality and often talks about how he avoids unnecessary expenses. He once said, "It doesn't matter how much money you have. Free cash flow is the most important thing." By cutting back on unnecessary expenses, Cuban ensures he always has money available to invest in new opportunities. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth, by being smart with your money and avoiding unnecessary spending. So far, we've talked about paying off your debts and then building a wealth snowball by saving and investing the money you were using to pay down those debts. But here's an important point. You don't need to be rich to start compounding your wealth. You can start compounding your wealth no matter how much you make. How much you can contribute to your wealth, snowball depends on what you can afford. If you're struggling to get by because your income is low, it's understandable that saving large amounts might be tough. But don't get discouraged. If you can't save $100 or $250 or $500 a month, start smaller. Aim to save $10, $25, or $50 a month. Every little bit helps. This is another intelligent way to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth, by consistently saving whatever you can, no matter how small the amount. Take Warren Buffett's advice. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. It doesn't matter how much you start with, the key is to make saving a habit. Even small amounts can grow significantly over time thanks to the power of compound interest. This is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. So if you're able to save even a small amount each month, that money will start to add up, and if you can, contribute as much as possible to a retirement account. For some people, that means putting in 5% of their income. For others, it might be as much as 50%. The more aggressive you are with your savings, the sooner you can reach financial independence. This is how to overcome debt by prioritizing your savings and investments. For instance, take the example of Chris Gardner, the inspiration behind the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Gardner went from being homeless to becoming a successful stockbroker and motivational speaker. His story shows that it doesn't matter where you start. It's about where you're headed and how determined you are to reach your goals. By staying focused and consistent, no matter how small your contributions may seem at first. All right, we've covered a lot today on how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth. From Howard Schultz's inspiring journey from deep debt to billionaire status to the practical steps of building both debt and wealth snowballs, you now have a roadmap to follow. Remember, this is how to overcome debt and start compounding your wealth by taking consistent, disciplined actions and making smart financial choices. The key takeaway here is that financial freedom is within your reach, no matter where you're starting from. By focusing on paying more than the minimum on your debts, utilizing the debt snowball method, and then transitioning to a wealth snowball approach once your debts are paid off, you can set yourself on a path to financial independence. And don't worry if you can't save large amounts right away. Start with whatever you can afford, even if it's just $10 or $20 a month. The most important thing is to make saving a habit. Over time, those small contributions will grow and compound, creating a substantial wealth snowball. Now remember, the purpose of this video is to educate you on various aspects of investing and not to give you any specific investment advice. Investing involves risks and uncertainties, and you should always do your own research and consult with qualified professionals before making any financial decisions. However, past performance does not guarantee future results, and you should always consider the risk of investments before putting your money at stake. Now, if you found this video helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Do not hesitate to share this video. It may help someone. Subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts on today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.